Be here again another beautiful Thursday morning here in the FCT, and of course our table is quite loaded, so stay with us.
Yeah, good morning, Nigerians. A beautiful Thursday morning, and Ify, I see you.
Well, let's go into what we have for you today. You're welcome to FCT Brief, and our focus today is on the Southeast, specifically Enugu State, where expectations from responsive leadership, economic growth, and improved public services remain high. As the state continues its development journey, citizens and observers alike are asking critical questions about how far governance has progressed and what more still needs to be done, from infrastructure development and economic revitalization to social welfare and institutional reforms. The conversation around governance in Enugu has continued to evolve.
While there have been notable initiatives and policy directions aimed at repositioning the state, there are also ongoing debates about priorities, implementation gaps, and the lingering challenges that demand urgent attention. Understanding these dynamics is key to assessing how governance can translate into tangible improvements in the lives of the people. And to help us get through these issues, we are joined this morning by Michael Ekwueme, a respected public affairs analyst who will be sharing insights on the progress recorded so far, the policy priorities shaping the administration, and the challenges that still lie ahead for Enugu State. Michael, nice to have you here with us.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah. The government of Mr. Mba in Enugu State, a lot of people have talked about the positive development and the fact that the government is doing things differently from the way it used to be. And there's massive investment in school, the Smart School Initiative, and also investing in public transportation, providing access to clean water. And those were things that were not in place in Enugu State that Enugu people can now pride themselves that they do have. But you feel that there are certain things that also need to be done. Now, can we have, you're not in disagreement with some of these improvements by this government, but you want to talk about some other things you feel that, okay, government can also pay attention to.
Okay, talking about the smart school, beautiful idea, but a lot of things are wrong in that smart school. One, placements, where they are building the smart school. Now, like where I come from Amandimolo, in Izego local government. The smart school is being placed at Amagomoropa. So, Olo town has 5 communities. Ibitolo, Amandimolo, Imeziolo, and the other community. Now, from Ibitolo to this smart school is 14 kilometers. From my community to that smart school is 6 kilometers. From Imeziolo to that smart school is about 12 kilometers. So, how can the children go to school with this kilometer, going and coming?
So it's more about accessibility,
it's not accessible. It's not accessible. Then some of them well built. Then most of the smart school, the contractors are doing substandard jobs. Some of them are collapsing. Some of you see the last one, it rained and the roof went off. So most of the contractors are doing substandard job. So I don't know if the government is not properly paying them or proper supervision. So, but the idea of the smart school is good. Then 2, I have 4 schools in my community. No toilets, no bedroom. The headmistress, all the children in those 4 schools are doing open defecation. I even built toilet and bedroom 6 with one of my brother, Ebukana China. We built 1 to support the government. So how can you be building smart school, billions of naira, then the other schools don't have toilet and bedroom?
Do you have a local government?
We have a local government.
Have you asked your local government what they're doing? Because when you talk of schools in the community, they are the primary responsibilities of the local government. So how well is your local government fixing those challenges? Because a lot of time we focus on the federal, the state, and we leave the local government that is closest to us.
The problem is when you call the local government chairman, most times they will accuse the governor of choking them.
We have direct allocation now, so they won't say that.
They will say that. That's what they said, because going to the schools, like a secondary school in my place, modern secondary school, there is no roof, no chair. I have the videos on my phone. I even posted it on air. The governor saw it over 1 year, nothing has been done. So after going to smart school, you now come to secondary school, there is no chair, no roof, no teachers, no quality teachers. Most times it's community teachers. I was the president of my community. And they say free education. At times you see some children, they say they pay school fees. You begin to wonder, even at primary school, you pay school fees. They say yes, they can't go to school. All these are visible. So the local government are not functioning. Do you know my local government, my local government is Iago? I think the whole local government, I have not seen a doctor for the past 10 years. No doctor in the whole local government. In my local government is verifiable. If you see, might be visiting Dr. One. No doctor in the whole of Isiago. No blood bank, no ATM machine, no bank in the whole of the local government. And we have polytechnic, we have good business that if they attract bank, things can go well. So most time we see more of government doing social media hype, trying to make people see the state in a different way. A lot of people are not working in the state. I want anyone to challenge me. If you have a local government, tell me where the doctor is. No doctor. You go, the other one, I had a video, only a nurse in Izamolo, where they have this was attracted by Igwa ambassador, Igwa Gobozo. No, only one nurse. I said, ask, mother, how do you function? She says she's the only person working. So how do you deliver a baby? Only her. No second nurse, only her. It's not blackmail, it's visible. This is a life program. So the local government chairman are accusing the government. Of recent, you ask the chairman, they say they are the one doing the smart school. The governor says he's the one doing the smart school. The chairman said they are funding it of recent. So if you're funding the smart school, that means you can't do anything. So that's the problem. So the governor should clear the air on that smart school issue. Who is doing the smart school? Who is paying the bills? Is it the chairman or is it the state government?
All right. I hope the government is paying attention because, of course, accountability it should take center stage. Yeah. But let's talk about industrialization because Enugu was once considered the heartbeat of Nigeria's coal industry. It powered our country's early industrial growth. But today that legacy feels more historical than economic. From your own perspective as someone that is invested in the state affairs, what should Enugu do to change this narrative as it stands today?
Yeah, I think what I say about governance is, first of all, love. If you don't have love, nothing will work. Mm-hmm. Most of our leaders don't love the people. Everything is politics. Because if I see that this man is a graduate and you cannot pay your bill, you cannot go to school, and I have enough and I'm not thinking about you, then there's a problem. The moribund industries in Enugu, nothing is functioning. The governor said he's going to do GDP from 4 billion to 30 billion. How do you achieve that when the industries are not revived? Just 1 or 2 are revived, 1 or 2, but about 80% are not revived.
Okay, I'd like to see, talking about the industrialization, the school, you talked about the healthcare also. Yeah. Before now, what was the nature of governance in Enugu State? Because if you're talking about all these schools, yes. Enugu didn't start 2 years ago. Yes. Enugu State didn't start 2.5 or 3 years ago. Yes. There has been governments. Was it that these governments in place before now never paid attention to the welfare of the people of Enugu State? Because it's easy for us to just carry over every problem. What were we doing? Were we asking questions in time past about schools? And if you talk about the smart school, it's far away. It's just like the federal schools. Yes. It's not close to a community. The federal colleges, federal unity schools, they're usually far away. Yeah. And it's meant to bring in development to a particular area. Yeah. So government site it in a place a bit far so that community will grow to that place. So what question were you asking the government before now?
On what?
On these critical issues, healthcare, industrialization. There has been systemic failure of government over time. That's what I'm asking.
Yes. That's why I said if there is love, it's not about only Peter Mba. Like Sullivan Chime did wonderfully well. He's the best governor in the history of Enugu State so far. The previous government did more of, they call it through SUBEB. They did more of the schools. But now, I ask question, the previous government, why there is no toilet and bedroom? You're building a model school, you're doing partnership, it's a PPP program. Yeah. Why no toilet and bedroom? And all the schools in Enugu State are not fenced. Most of the schools in Rwanda are not fenced. You see students in the classroom, you see cow moving around the schools. I have some videos. So why are they not fenced? So it not start from this administration. It's something that has been recalling. So why are the schools not fenced? So when Mba came on board, we expected to do a feasibility study before dabbling into this mass school. What of the school? What is smart about school? Is it the structure? It's not the structure. It's all about the gadgets. The curriculum. And we have wonderful schools. I have 4 in my community which are attracted. 4. But it's not fenced. no toilet, no bedroom. So what the governor should have done is set up a committee, fence all the schools, put the basic needs. Then this smart school should be sited in town that has population. You can site it there, so it will reduce those gap. Now, Sullivan Chime bought buses for the staff, for all the teachers. Imagine somebody coming from Maraba to come and teach here. They have free staff bus, but it's gone. So they are paying transport. You're paying somebody maybe a minimum with 60,000, 70,000. The person is paying transport from Maraba or Yaya to come here. How can they function?
Right.
That's
Mr. Ekwueme,
why they're taxing the children.
If I understand you correctly, the problem here is about the implementation, those that are awarded the contract. Are you aware of the modalities being employed in this situation to award contracts to these contractors? And how do you think the government is actually measuring, the implementation? Are they aware of all these things you're saying, or is something that, the government is also complicit to?
No, they are very, very aware. Like, most of the roads they are doing is re-asphalting. Sullivan did major road in Enugu State. The previous government did little. So the roads are cracking. So what this government is doing is to re-asphalt. Now, what is your thickness of re-asphalting? You can do 6 to compress to 5 mm. But maybe the government is doing 3 to compress to 2 mm. So when heavy troughs hit the road just 2-3 months, it will crack. Okay. Like the one from my place, from Amabriwe to Olo. The road is finished already in less than 1 year. And I have the video and I posted it on air. So if you talk to the contractors, they'll say that they're not properly funded. The government is not doing variation. Dollars fluctuate. So the government is not doing variation. So when there's no variation, contractors will do what they do to make profit. So you can't even challenge it because you're not properly funding them. So the government cannot hit them hard.
Okay, let's speak a bit about agriculture, because I've also heard the government talk so much about agri-development. Recently, there was this Southeast Development Commission, the 2050 development plan that was launched, and all the Southeast governments were there. And one thing they talked about is, I think Enugu pride itself with that Enugu can be the nucleus of agriculture. And they've been saying that the governor has done so much in agri-development, empowering the young people, giving them access to wards, giving them access to land so that they are employed and they can also boost the food basket of Enugu State. Talk to us about this.
Okay. I feel bad and disappointed at times when I hear some certain things going on in the media. We have more of media projects in Enugu State than the visibility. Like Ibutolo, the governor came there, I think, with, I don't know, we had other this programmatic, one time 100 billion programmatic. We had another one with Shanghai Farm and everything. They said they're going to assemble some tractors in Enugu. I've not seen one tractor being assembled so far, in Enugu so far. Ibitolo, where I come from, they promised the community good access road. And they took the land and they started planting palm trees and a lot of things. Adequate compensation have not been paid. No road has been done to that place till now. So the people are complaining. This is 2 years now. So where are the tractors? Where are some things are going on? Then the programmatic own, it brought controversy. Even Aisha Yusuf addressed it. A company that was registered in less than 9 days was given a job of 100 billion without due process. When I ask, there should be due process, there should be other companies that have to bid before this company will win 100 billion. So where is the bidding process? You're awarded 100 billion to a company that is less than 10 days old, and the programmatic, we've not heard anything today, 100 billion, and 2 years is gone. So where are they doing the projects? How many farmers are benefiting? How many citizens have gotten proceeds to plant palm oil and palm trees and everything? So a lot of media hype. This is where we get offended. So much money, but a lot of media hype. Little has been done. Yes, the governor is trying to do some certain projects, but the hype in this media is too high. So this is the area. It has good agenda, good program, but implementation becomes a problem.
All right. We'll come back to you very shortly, but let's take this quick break. Don't go anywhere. We still have more for you on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back. This is Michael Ekwueme. Now, yep. Mr. Ekwueme, you have mentioned you have criticized the government enough, and usually when governments hear criticisms like this, they often pass it off as politically motivated. Do you have proof to back up your claim. Are you saying that government is not doing anything at all to develop the state?
Like what I said before, that the governor has good program or vision, but more the expectation is not what you're seeing, like what they're saying on air. Like if you see Nike Lake was dead, the governor came in and gave it to a landmark. We know landmark is doing very well. You can see the realization of Igwogo Road to Nsukka. Good agenda, good projects. You get where I'm coming from? You see the presidential was dead, moribund, it has been rehabilitated. Now, but in all this, I think the least room in presidential now, this is about 200,000. Enugu State is a civil servant state. So if the least room is 200, VIP is about 500 to 800, how many people are going to stay there? Then the dualization to Nsukka, wonderful road, I get what I'm saying. But you need to supervise the contractors, because if they do substandard job that the road will fail after 6 months, who are you going to hold? Is it the contractor or the governor or the government? This is where we're coming from. We're not saying the governor is not doing good jobs. He's doing a lot of, good jobs. Nobody is here to blackmail the system. But we're saying, like when I talk about the health care, how do you imagine that a whole local government is a life no doctor? So if somebody is pregnant, from Olu to Enugu is about 1 hour 20 minutes. So if somebody is pregnant and has emergency, you need to take the person 1 hour 20 minutes. The person will die on the road.
Yeah, Michael.
So there's the area I'm coming from. I'm not saying that the governor doesn't have good agenda, is not doing well. He needs to do enough. He has not done enough. He's doing well. At least Enugu is clean. You see improvements. You know what I'm saying? So like when you come to the water aspect you asked about, he told us in 180 days there will be water. So it means before you to say 180 days, you've done your assessment, because it's not Enugu State and you've been in the system. He was former commissioner, former chief of staff. And after winning the election, you have like 1 or 2 months before you be sworn in. So it means you have your team to say 180 days. A tank of water in Enugu is 40,000 naira, 40,000 naira. So people are suffering for water. Okay. It's not visible for now. It's about 20% done so far.
Okay, which is work in progress.
Yes, work in progress.
Let's look. I earlier talked about this 2050 plan. I remember that one of the things that was said there is the fact that the Southeast would need to network. And we're talking about networking the Southeast with rail. Okay. Because if Southeast put their heads together, not individual states working as a state per se, but working as the Southeast, that the Southeast can wield so much economic power. Now, I'd like you to speak to the merits of networking all the states in the Southeast to become a major economic hub. I'd like you to speak to the merit. How will it help to improve the welfare of the people in the Southeast?
Okay, the problem is political willpower. Definitely they should have every month. Enugu should bring maybe 200 million, Abia 200 million. They should have money that every month we can raise 1 billion and look at what we are going to do. But there's another problem. The seaports in the Southeast are not functioning. So if there is seaport in Bayelsa, Uyo, Calabar that is functioning, it's close to the Southeast, you can have a light vessel with the dredging of River Niger and come. It will also help the roads not to collapse. Most of the roads in the Southeast are collapsing after 4 or 5 years because of the heavy duty trucks on it. So if they can do light vessel after dredging River Niger and some of these Orashi River and the rest of them that is coming to the Southeast, it will help. But it's the willpower. Our people will come, speak very well, wonderfully well. Implementation becomes a problem. So 1 or 2 governors might have that interest, the energy. The other 3 will say no and play politics. So if there is love and willpower, they will achieve that.
All right, Mr. Ekwueme, Enugu is expanding quite rapidly. We see new estates, new businesses, and a rising population. But with that growth comes the question about proper urban planning. Now, from what you have observed lately, do you think that the government is positioned well enough to for sustainable urban planning?
Wonderfully good. They are doing wonderfully well. But, when I talk, it says like... I'm attacking the government more. It's good to say the bitter truth so that even the government will sit up. From my advocates, the government of Pitamba has taken a lot of advice and they begin to implement. The problem in Enugu is taxation. The taxation is high. You buy a plot of land maybe for 5 million. You're doing registration for 1 point something million, 2 million. How can you expand?
But you need to boost your IGR also.
You're boosting your IGR from people's blood. Where are the industries? You can't compare Enugu and Lagos State. You must come to Lagos State. Why? You need visa, you come to Lagos State. You want to clear container, you come to Lagos State. You want to do anything, all the oil companies, head office in Lagos State, all the banks are in Lagos State. So you can't compare Lagos taxation to like Enugu. Because Enugu is not that a business area. Even Anambra that is more business area doesn't have the taxation Enugu has. This is visible. This is something you can check. So now, if I want to build an estate and my tax is maybe 300 million and Anambra will cost me 100 million, I'll go to Anambra because everybody wants to make profits. So we've pleaded with the governor. He has set a committee now to look into the taxation. The committee has been set up. But we say let it not be political committee. After election, you come back to where you are because you want to win an election, you set a committee now. People like just go to Enugu, the tax is something else.
Let's go back. In the old eastern region,
yes.
Enugu used to be the capital of the eastern region, I guess. So which means for every Igbo man in the southeast, they have a connection with Enugu. Now, if you have a responsibility to advise the southeast states, to advise Enugu, what are those critical infrastructure?
Everyone will be choked up. There will be emergency. So as he's been in hospital, I would suggest he makes that hospital up to 800 or 1,000 bed hospital.
All right, Mr. Ekwueme.
Then two, the road networking. You know, Enugu has one of the best road networking. So if the roads are standard, that's not pothole and everything, people will come in. We will need to improve in security too, which you see that the state government bought drone and a lot of things, putting cameras and everything. We don't know if it's functioning yet because we have a lot of defects when it comes to security. But Enugu is still the safest state in Southeast because Sullivan did a lot of good job. The Buruburu came, continued, and the governor is also investing in security. But say he should do more.
All right.
So that's what we're saying.
All right. The governor of Enugu State recently defected to the APC. Do you see this as a politically strategic move to attract more development, investments, better resources to the state?
Most defection are personal agenda. It's not for the state. Because you cannot come under a platform of PDP and after 2 years you are defecting. So all this year you've been staying, nothing has been working. Federal government will not be giving you an allocation or what. Most of them is just personal interest. They believe if they're APC, they could, they are empowered, they could get whatever they want, how to come back to 2027. So most of the defection to APC, not even only our governor in Enugu State, is just for personal gain. Because you have allocation, you have your IGR. So you can do very, very well with all those money. So defection is not the problem. It's all about integrity matters a lot.
Okay, Michael, so let's speak a bit about our various local governments. I know not just here, we've always raised this issue with the third tier and the local government because unlike before, they are getting huge allocation from the federal. Because when we say the allocation to the states have tripled, yes. It means allocation to the local governments have tripled also,
yes.
Which means there are certain things that it's a constitutional responsibility of the local government,
yes.
Like primary school. Is a constitutional responsibility.
And healthcare.
Healthcare, primary healthcare is a constitutional responsibility. How do you think we can get the local governments to stop giving excuses and face healthcare, education, and infrastructure squarely? What can we get there?
Something is still very, very wrong, and I'll hit my chest. If they're taking that allocation direct, I don't know. But all I know that most governors give local government chairmen a platform on how to spend the money. They even tell them how to run the local government. The only few local governments or few states, like Lagos State, you see local government, they are independent. When you see the kind of project they are doing in Lagos State, a local government chairman, you begin to wonder, is he a state governor? Most states are being choked by the governor. Even when they sign the money, they are independent. They still tell them this is what and what you should do. If not, EFCC is not doing their job. Have you ever had EFCC arresting a local government chairman? Some states are getting 500 million, some River State is getting 1.something billion, 2.something billion in a month. And you will not see anything they are doing, no tangible thing. They don't even leave their seats to even go around to know what is the problem. One is for you to have that. That's it. You need to have that love. Like my own local government, I've encountered with the chairman. I said, we don't have doctors. We don't have this. I expect to say, okay, let me do a tour round. We can't solve the problem. Even if you give them 1 trillion every month, they can't solve the local government problem in a month or in a year. But let there be law for you to go and find out these are the basic problems.
All right, very quickly, because we just have a limited time right now. Do you think that the government has sort of like an open door policy? Because from all you've expressed so far, it seems like the government has shut itself out from the people. Is the government having that open door policy that is open to hear, all these irregularities in the state despite its efforts to develop the state?
This is the major problem of Enugu State. And if you want to do public analysis by just stumbling into the streets, House of Assembly, state dexterity, you hear from the masses, the government is tight to the people. They are not visible, they are not accessible. That is the most problem. If you see the recent Ekwueme that did program in Enugu that was complaining that the stadium was shut down, they saw that from above. And other governors were calling the governor, he said he's not aware. So if you're not aware, other governors are calling you, it means you've heard about the call and something should be done. So the governor should improve in listening to the people, knowing their problem, not seen as antagonizing or political blackmail. If I say we don't have a doctor, I think the governor should check, why do these people not have a doctor? Local government chairman, what are you doing? I get what I'm saying. I also suggest to the chairman, or I called my senator there, I said, please, can you write to NYC to post NYC doctors to the rural areas? Because some of them have houses and everything. We can now renovate the place. NYC doctor can help 70%. Exactly. They will now have a consulting doctor that can be visiting if there is emergency. Maybe, okay, the South today will have a doctor will come on Monday for operation or surgery. So they will start booking people because we know that maybe the form might not be there. So write to NYC. Bring a neighboring environment for the students to stay. That is the problem. They are not doing that. They are not interested.
All right.
Like when this government started, you come to government to see the governor. Inside government house, they will put in television Zoom. If you're talking to the governor inside government house for Zoom, when we started shouting, that one stopped. So the governor is not accessible. It's just election period now that you can see him talking to people and start assessing to people because election is coming.
We've totally run out of time, but we must say thank you so much, Michael Ekwueme, for your insight, and we definitely hope that Enugu State government is listening to all these observations you've raised to better improve the state. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of our conversation.